You check your phone before you check your face in the mirror. The number on the screen decides your mood before the coffee does. Negative $2,400. A car repair you didn't plan for. A credit card you swore you'd pay off next month. You are 24. You have a job, a degree, a closet full of clothes you bought to feel like someone you're not yet. And still, on paper, you are worth less than nothing. This is where it begins for almost everyone. Not at zero, below it. Debt isn't a number. It's a quiet voice that follows you into every store, every dinner, every decision that looks small but isn't. You don't know it yet, but this version of you is making the most important financial decision of your life, without realizing it's a decision at all. Whether you keep borrowing from your future self, or whether you finally stop. There's a strange kind of relief at zero. You owe nothing. You own nothing. You are for the first time standing on solid ground instead of sinking into it. This is the month you open a savings account you actually respect. $50, then $100. It feels insignificant, and it is in dollars. But it isn't insignificant in identity. You have just become a person who keeps money instead of a person who loses it. Nobody throws a party for this. Nobody notices. But this is the exact moment the story of your wealth quietly starts being written. $10,000 doesn't change your life. It changes your posture. You stop flinching when your card gets declined, because it doesn't anymore. You have something most of your friends don't talk about out loud. A cushion. 3 months of rent, sitting untouched, doing nothing visible, but doing everything invisible. This is the first time you hear the phrase that will follow you for the rest of your life. It's not what you earn, it's what you keep. You start to understand that income was never the goal. Income is just the river. Net worth is the reservoir. Somewhere around here, money stops being a survival tool and starts being a decision-making tool. You open a brokerage account. You buy your first index fund, not because you understand markets, but because you finally accepted you don't need to predict them. You just need to be in them for a very long time. You learn the quiet math that the wealthy never explain out loud. At a 7% average return, your money doubles roughly every 10 years. Not because of luck, because of patience wearing a disguise. For the first time, a portion of your wealth isn't coming from your effort. It's coming from your ownership. That distinction will define the rest of your financial life. There's a name for this number in finance circles. They call it escape velocity. Not because you're rich, you're not. You still go to work on Monday like everyone else. But something has shifted underneath the surface. Compound growth is no longer a sentence in a textbook. It's a force quietly multiplying behind your back while you sleep, while you work, while you forget it's even there. At this stage, your money starts earning money faster than you can spend it carelessly. The machine is built. It just needs time now. And time is the one asset the wealthy guard more jealously than cash. You start to notice something uncomfortable. The people around you who make more than you often have less than you. Income was never the scoreboard. It was the noise. This is the number where lifestyle becomes a weapon or a leash. You can feel the pull now, the nicer apartment, the newer car, the version of success that photographs well. This is where most people quietly stop building without ever noticing they've stopped. Not because they failed, because comfort arrived disguised as progress. The ones who keep climbing from here learn a colder truth. Every upgrade in lifestyle is a tax on your future freedom, paid in monthly installments for the rest of your life. You don't tell anyone this. You just start saying no to things that used to feel like yes, halfway to a number that once felt like fiction. Your portfolio's returns, in a strong year, start to resemble a small salary. Not enough to live on, enough to notice, enough to feel for the first time that your money is becoming a second employee, one that never calls in sick, never asks for a raise, never resents you. This is where the psychology shifts from earning to allocating. You think less about your paycheck and more about your percentages. What's in equities? What's in real estate? What's protecting you against a year the market doesn't forgive? You realize wealth was never about avoiding risk. It was about choosing which risks you're allowed to survive. The number that haunted you for a decade arrives quietly, on a Tuesday, in an account you don't even check that often anymore. There's no champagne, no fireworks, just a strange, hollow silence. Because you expected to feel like a millionaire, and instead you just feel like yourself, with slightly less fear. This is the cruelest lesson of net worth. The number changes long before the feeling does. Your nervous system is still running software installed at negative $2,400. It takes years for your identity to catch up to your balance sheet. The wealthy who built this number rarely talk about money anymore. They talk about time zones, tax structures, trustees. Money at this altitude becomes less of a goal and more of a language. Here, something almost nobody warns you about happens. You stop selling. The wealthy don't get rich by selling their assets. They get rich by borrowing against them, by holding through decades others panic sold through, by treating their portfolio less like a wallet and more like land passed through generations. Status fades from the equation entirely. You're no longer chasing a number that impresses people you don't like. You're managing a system, one that could, if you built it correctly, outlive you. The question quietly changes from, how much do I have, to, how long does this last without me? Net worth was never the lesson. It was the receipt, proof of 1,000 invisible decisions, made alone, in moments nobody photographed. The version of you at negative $2,400 and the version of you at $5 million are not separated by luck. They're separated by what you were willing to delay. Every level of net worth was never really about the money. It was about who you had to become to deserve it.